Well, welcome aboard, everyone. Welcome to the Pins Abode. I believe this will be vlog sequence number 21 in the Long Trail of Vlogs. Today is Sunday morning, June 1st, year of our Lord 2008. It's about mid-morning here. I slept in a little bit this morning till about 5:30. Had a pretty busy weekend so far, Friday into Saturday, traveling, of course, work at the other house. Got back here yesterday afternoon late and tried to get some rest and ate some salads and just relaxed a little bit. So this morning, a little slower start. Sunday morning, so I'll probably go out for a morning walk here and I'm going to try to get some pictures. Maybe I'll take one or two so I can start on this Mono Monday sequence that our friends on Multiply and have encountered. Started up. As many of you know, I'm not blogging as much or as often or as common themed as I used to. Just been really busy with work. Now that it's June, all the big projects should be off the board. At work, I have one project due in September, but that's just a lot of data collection from different departments. So hopefully things will slow down a little bit. I can stop and smell the roses a little bit more and get back to maybe some good social networking environment activities, such as Tuesday's Link with Pins and some more recent points to ponders and things along more common points to ponder and things like that. But we'll see. Those of you that have been sticking with me though and still reading the blogs that I do post, I'm greatly thankful for that. It's much appreciation on my part to you and for all the insightful comments and timely hugs and kisses too. That's always important. Anyhow, for the veterans of these vlogs, you know I sort of usually try to break them into three parts. News, current events, part one, some sports updates, and then special highs, and every now and then I'll throw in a little anecdote of something that's come across my radar screen that I tend to like to pass along. Anyhow, some news items. Part one here. Everybody knows that the price of gas on average in the U.S. is probably right around $4, I think. I don't know. I paid yesterday coming home, I think $3.89, $3.83, and that doesn't count my card discount. I know here in around the Pins Abode yesterday, just looking at some of the stations, they were around $4.15, $4.09 on average. Luckily, I still have over half a tank, so probably next time I take a trip, I'll have to fill up then. It's only a couple miles back and forth to work, so I don't usually use much in a given week. But I see the price per barrel is under $1.30, so I'm thinking that it's going to come down about 40 or 50 cents maybe by mid-July, so that'll help some of those vacation travelers. But I don't see it going up to $5 a gallon in the near future, but maybe I'm wrong. You know, I'm never 100% right for those who follow me. Anyhow, just some other news items. I see that at the Democratic National Committee yesterday decided on the having the Florida and Michigan delegate pools, and so I don't know if that still put Obama over or is going to keep Hillary in the race, or I don't really know how that's going to shake out. I do know that Reverend Father Pfleger from Chicago, who was a guest speaker at the United Trinity Church there, he put on quite a show. And I got to be honest, I watched part of that video, and I thought that was pretty disturbing. Now, I hope that doesn't make me sound racist or anything, but it just was disturbing. Now, I understand that since that video came out from last Sunday or last weekend, that Obama has pretty much denounced his association with that United Trinity Church, and I'm sure that'll cut all ties with Reverend Wright and Pfleger and stuff, but I still think we need to vet this fellow, people. That's just my opinion. Sorry if it hurts anybody's opinions out there, but just too many things that come out about this guy. The fact that he's a United States Senator and thinks we have 57 states and thinks that the U.S. Army and the Soviet Union Red Army are essentially equivalent. And I think he's making up relatives as he goes along here, but we'll see. I don't think he has too many more white relatives to throw under the bus, but you never know. Maybe one will come up and we'll see. Anyhow, so the Dems decided to sit half the delegates from each of the 2 states that they said they didn't want their delegates and votes to count. Now, wait a minute. Isn't this the political party that in the year 2000 said that every vote should be counted, even the intended votes? Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe I missed that whole Al Gore sequence. Anyhow, let's move on, because politics is really crazy nowadays. Keep an eye out for that Cap and Trade Act that's coming out. If you think your taxes are high now, wait till that one comes out, along with the old carbon credit cards and things. So just keep an eye on what your U.S. Congress is thinking about promoting. Let's see here. Nancy Pelosi says if things don't shake out pretty soon in this Democratic primary, she's going to, quote, step in. That's apparently, she's going to start stepping in. That's what the San Francisco Chronicle indicated. So, quite interesting. Susan Sarandon has indicated that she's leaving the country if John McCain gets elected. Now, I think she'll probably be joining overseas Alec Baldwin and Dennis Leary and a variety of other people who said they were leaving if Bush was reelected in 2004. Wait a minute. No, they're still here, so let's see how that works out, too, then. There's been 2 crane collapses in New York City, and I know Mayor Bloomberg came out and wants to know if this is more than a coincidence or et cetera, and he's talking about having additional legislation and inspecting. This was after the 2 cranes both passed a multiple sequence of inspections, so maybe we do got to revisit that or check some payoffs up there. I see some interesting things are happening in Pennsylvania. They're thinking about selling the Pennsylvania Turnpike to a private company or a private consortium. And if anybody has seen what their proposed rates over the next 20 years looks like, you may have to take out a home loan to go from one end of Pennsylvania to the other. And if Fast Eddie Rendell has his way and they also privatize Interstate 80 with tolls and such, I'm just not sure that it's worth you're trying to figure out how to travel through Pennsylvania without paying exorbitant tax tolls on their interstate highways. Anyhow, that's just some quick news. There's some interesting things happening at our university, but that's more for friends and family and private information, so I'm going to keep that to myself here, I think. All right, I know this is running long, so I'll go through the sports updates real quickly here. This coming Thursday, the NBA playoffs move into their final stage. I think it's Boston versus the LA Lakers this year. So Kobe's back in the finals. I think Kobe probably is probably the best player in the NBA right now, talent-wise. No matter whether you think he raped that girl in Colorado a few years back or not, he's still a very talented basketball player. I'm not sure I'll watch a whole lot of the games since they're going to start out on the West Coast this year. I don't know. I'll have to check it. I think they're playing a 2-3-2 format. 2 in Boston, 3 in L.A., 2 in Boston kind of thing, but we'll see. Doesn't have my interest like it used to. You know me, I reminisce a little bit for the older days, so we'll see how that shakes out. Baseball season is mid-form. Seems like there's an awful lot of injuries, though, this year. I'm a member of 4 fantasy teams, so I get to see a lot of the stats and who gets put on the disabled list and stuff. By the way, as a side note, my fantasy baseball teams do rather well. I think I've got 1 first place, 2 second place, and 1 third place. And I usually either win or go second place on almost every team in fantasy baseball that I play. Must be the stats background in my life here. Anyhow, so nothing outrageous in baseball that's going on. I see that guy from the Boston Red Sox threw a no-hitter about a week or so ago, a couple starts ago. Young player, Johnny Lester, I think his name is. That's always nice to see. And then, of course, Manny being Manny last night, I believe he hit his 500th home run for the Red Sox. Many of you know I'm sort of a Yankees fan, so they're mired in 4th, 5th place, I think, in the American League East. I just don't think they have the pitching to put on a real strong show this year. And I'm glad Joe Torre, who I'm a big fan of, is out of town and doing rather well out for the Dodgers. NFL season is still a couple months away, but you know that's where my heart lies. I'd love to run a yearly Pick'ems game. Hopefully some of you folks will want to participate in that again this year. If not, that's okay too. But I'm more of a big NFL fan. I see Pac-Man Jones is going to probably be reinstated by Commissioner Goodell probably before training camp. And the quarterback battle in Cleveland should be interesting this year if Brady Quinn can step up. And it'll be interesting to see if the Atlanta Falcons field a competitive team this year with, I think they're going to go with the rookie quarterback, Ryan, right from the start. The Cowboys, I think, look like the team to beat, and I'm not quite sure in the AFC. I think the Steelers might have a chance if they can get some good wide receiver play and go with that two-back system. The rookie from Illinois, Mendenhall, I think his name is. Maybe I have that wrong. And, of course, Willie Parker coming back from that broken leg, so we'll see how that shakes out. Triple Crown in the horse racing. Big Brown, apparently his hoof is healing. A little alliteration there. And it looks like he's probably the odds-on favorite to win the first Triple Crown since, 78 and affirmed, I guess. So that'll be interesting. Sheeby, my heart goes out to you. I see our Penguins are down 3-1 after last night, although that was a pretty good game. I didn't get to watch every moment of it. I stopped in and caught some of the highlights every now and then between phone calls. But I think it'll probably go six games, and Detroit is just hockey town right now, so it'll be tough to beat them. All right, that's probably about it for sports. Let me just move on to some special highs here. First of all, special hi to Mrs., also known as Carol from down south there. Hope everything's going well for you, and hopefully you're staying busy with your classes and everything else and work that's going on in your life. Anyhow, but do take time to stop and say hello every now and then. Some of my Pennsylvania friends, Tiger, Sheeby, Rory, a bunch of other people there from Pennsylvania know that you're always in my thoughts and prayers, and always glad to see you guys stop by and leave a message, and we exchange some information, so that's always good. For Andrea and the rest of the 84 Amigas, glad to see that you guys are still alive and kicking, and Thirsty Thursdays and Hump Day Wednesdays, and keeping all of us people out here reminded of what day it is and how to celebrate it. For Chrissy and Carolyn and Catalina and Kata, and you as well, know that you're all in my thoughts and prayers. Special hi to down south there, Sergeant Child, but that car looked pretty snazzy too there, woman, so congrats to you on that, and I'm figuring you're starting your new career pretty soon if you haven't already done so congrats to that as well. All right, I'm sure I'm missing out on a lot of special highs, and it's not intended, it's just this thing's running too long. So I'm getting ready to call it a day here, maybe go out and take some pictures, do a morning walk, and then get some sun, and just relax on this Sunday and ease into it. So come Monday, I can get back to work, and we'll see how things go. Anyhow, love and miss y'all. Take care. Talk to you again soon.